Now, we all like a cheeky game of Overwatch, and the game is very fun, but it does have a lot of problems that people like to ignore. In this video, I'm going to look at one of the big issues, London Spitfires. I'm joined by semi-pro Overwatch player, Michael Kendal. Say hello, Mikey.
Hello everybody, thank you for having me today, Scotty.
No problem, mate. Now, Mikey, you told me you've been looking into the history of London Spitfire. So, tell us what you found.
Of course, well, to understand the issue with the London Spitfire franchise, I think we must first look into their origin. Information, it can be quite hard to come by, and very few of these events have actually been recorded properly. But basically, when the Overwatch League was originally set up, the franchise rights for all of the different teams and cities were sold to different companies. With Cloud9, they were awarded the rights to the London franchise.
Cloud9? But aren't they an American company?
Well, yes they are, Scotty.
But surely it would be better for the London franchise to be owned by a British company.
Personally, I would prefer that, yes, but there is nothing inherently wrong with it, of course, and plenty of other big companies in this country are American. The big issue is the way that Cloud9 run the team.
Oh, sounds juicy. Spill the beans, Michael.
Indeed, yes. Well, the first real warning sign was that after being awarded the franchise, Cloud9 proceeded to buy out a couple of teams. This includes the up-and-coming European team Laser Kittens, among a few others. After acquiring these teams, they basically stripped them of their standout players and left the carcass to rot. Instead, they decided to focus all of their efforts on the newly formed Spitfire team.
Oh, that all sounds a bit shady. But there's bigger problems than that, aren't there?
Why, yes, there are. This was only the prologue to the much bigger issues at hand. Their relationship with London is an interesting conundrum.
Oh yes, that's what really rattles my badger. The team call itself London when there's absolutely no connection to London at all. The players aren't even from there, the team isn't based there, and they've never even visited. It's all a money-making scam.
Alright, calm down there, Scotty. I hear what you're saying, and you do have some very good points. But a lot of people, they don't really understand this perspective. So I think we should probably try and explain it to them carefully. You've already got into a few dodgy arguments on Twitter, I've seen.
Oh, I suppose. Lots of people just don't listen, though, and just call me a racist.
Well, why don't we try and explain it, then? Personally, I think that a big part of the issue is the difference in culture in America. So let's start by trying to explain the problem with franchises, shall we?
How are we going to do that?
Well, we're looking at Overwatch as an esport, aren't we? So I think the best way to compare it is to look at regular sports. You're a fan of football, right, Scotty?
Oh yes, mate. United for life.
Yes, of course. Well, in American sports, it's actually quite common for a franchise to be relocated to a different city if the owner believes that they can make more money. The original fans, they're just left behind without a team. But new fans, they'll happily flock to the new stadium, though. These moves, which they definitely have their problems, Scotty, these are happily accepted by the league, though, and it's just part of the system. But when it comes to Britain, we have a very different perspective, and we only have to look at one of the most hated clubs in the country, MK Dons.
Aye, dirty team.
Well, why don't you tell us a bit about MK Dons then, Scotty?
Oh, can do. Well, in this country, teams have existed for over 100 years and have bare history tied to them. They're an important part of the local towns and cities and are very dedicated fans. It's part of our culture. Wimbledon are, or were, a very famous side, but they started to run out of money. This isn't rare nowadays, so the club started looking for a new owner who could help them with the money problems. Well, a businessman named Pete Winkleman basically bought the club and relocated them to Milton Keynes before changing their name to MK Dons, changing the badge and changing the kit, all things they had promised not to do.
And this move did not go down well with both fans of Wimbledon and with football fans in general, did it, Scotty? And MK Dons, they're still widely considered to be an example of everything that's wrong with modern day football.
But what's all this got to do with London Spitfire?
Well, I think that this really highlights the differences between America and Britain. Here, it's important that our sports teams, they're formed naturally over time, rather than being sold to the highest bidder and moving to the most popular city, where they try and leech off just the brand alone. At London Spitfire, they lack a soul.
Oh yes, it's all a dirty marketing ploy. But it's not just the franchise, it's the players as well.
Why, yes it is, Scotty, and this is another cultural difference. So in Britain, we also like to focus on developing local players, and we really take pride when they make it into the team. In fact, some of the top football teams, they're looked down upon when they don't have enough players from the local area or the country.
Oh yeah, you mean like Chelsea?
Yes, they're a good example, Scotty.
Oh, but on Twitter, bare people have been telling me that the best players don't even play for their local teams, and the Prem's just full of foreigners.
Again, I think this is just an American thing. Their country is so big that there are so many fewer teams in general, it makes it very hard to actually play for your local team. Also, I'm not saying that every player plays for the local team in the UK, but if you look at any top team, you'll be able to name at least a handful. For example, Scotty, you're a United fan, so why don't you name us a few of their sort of English players?
Alright, well, we got Rashford, Jesse Lingard, Phil Jones, Chrissy Smalls, bare others.
Oh yes, of course, and we could also look at, for example, Liverpool. They've got Henderson, they've got Alexander-Arnold, they've got the Ox, there's loads of others as well, but we don't have time to name all of them.
Oh, but the Spitfire team isn't like this, is it? They're all Korean.
Indeed. Now, I don't have a problem with Korean players playing, but when the team is supposed to be from London, I just think it's a shame that none of the players are even from the UK. What I personally find even more annoying, however, is that none of the players, they've actually never been to London.
Oh, it's ridiculous, mate. How can they call themselves a London team when they've never been and make no effort to learn the culture?
Well, that really is the key, Scotty, and I hope that we've managed to highlight some of the issues that we have. If they didn't call themselves London and were instead based in Korea, then I don't think there'd be a problem at all. So I really hope that they do make some changes soon, but as long as they continue to claim that they are a London team, whilst also making zero effort to respect the sporting culture of the UK, then I'm afraid I just cannot support them.
Well, thanks a lot, Marky. There you have it, guys, the big issue with London Spitfire. I hope you enjoyed this video and would love to hear some of your opinions down below. Do you agree or not, and why? I want to see proper reasoning rather than just people calling me a little racist. There are more problems with the game than I would like to discuss in the future. So don't forget to smash that like button if you want more, and leave a cheeky subscribe to stay updated. ScottyL out.